Hello, welcome to all of you to my third video lecture on elementary particles. So, in the last video lecture, we have discussed about different type of elementary particles on the basis of parameters, mass, then interaction and spin. So, on the basis of these three parameters, we have classified the elementary particles. And also we have discussed about antiparticle on the basis of Dirac hole theory, which was predicted by Dirac in 1928. So, today we will discuss some quantum numbers which are used specially in elementary particles. So, and also their conservation laws. So, before that I will discuss something about meson and baryon, some particles which are mesons and some particles which are baryons. Okay. So this is the class of particle. So, meson, this is meson and this is baryon. Okay. In meson we have discussed about pion, kaon and eta. Okay. So, here this is pion. There are three types of pions: pi plus, pi 0 and pi minus. Okay. So, this is pi plus, its quark content is u d bar. The quark content of pi plus is u d bar. Okay. Then pi 0, its quark content is u bar and d bar. Okay. So, then pi minus, its quark content is u bar d. So, there are three types of pion: pi plus, pi 0 and pi minus, and their corresponding antiparticles are: the antiparticle of pi plus is pi minus, antiparticle of pi 0 is self. That means pi 0 is its own antiparticle. Then pi minus, the antiparticle of pi minus is pi plus. So the antiparticle of corresponding pions. Then their mass, the mass of pi plus is 140 MeV per c square. Then mass of pi 0 is 135 MeV per c square. Okay. And also the mass of pi minus is 140 MeV per c square, because we already know that the mass of particle and its corresponding antiparticle are same. So, that is why pi plus and pi minus both have the same mass. Then let us discuss about kaon. There are basically three types of kaons: k plus, then k short, and this is k long. Okay. So, and their corresponding antiparticles. The antiparticle of k plus is k minus, then antiparticle of k short is k short bar, and the antiparticle of k long is k long bar. Okay. And these are the mass of the corresponding kaons. Then another type of meson is eta meson. There are basically three types of eta meson: eta 0 and eta prime. Okay. The antiparticle of eta 0 is self, that means it is its own antiparticle, and also eta prime. Eta prime is its own antiparticle, and their mass are here. The eta 0 mass is 549 MeV per c square, and eta prime is 958 MeV per c square. So, these are all about meson. There are different types of meson. Then come to baryon. So, here we have discussed, here we have shown about mainly proton, neutron, lambda and sigma. There are also other baryons, but here we have only taken these. So, this is proton, its symbol is P, and this is neutron, its symbol is N. Okay. For lambda we use the symbol lambda 0, and then for sigma the symbol is sigma. There are three types of sigma: sigma plus, sigma 0 and sigma minus. So now let us discuss their antiparticles. Proton antiparticle is proton bar, matlab p bar. So here we can say that its quark content UUD. Proton contains 2 up quark and 1 down quark. Similarly, neutron contains 1 up quark, 2 down quarks. Okay. So this is the quark content of proton and neutron, and these are their own antiparticle. Means p bar is the antiparticle of proton and n bar is the antiparticle of neutron. So their quark contents will be u bar, and d bar. So this is for p bar, and this is u bar, d bar, and d bar. It's for antineutron. Okay. Similarly, lambda 0. For lambda 0, its quark content is u, d, s. And for antiparticle, it will be u bar, d bar, and s bar. Okay. Then for sigma plus, its quark content is u, s, then u, d, s, and then u, s, s. Okay. So these are their quark contents. Similarly, here also we can write for the antiparticle of sigma plus is sigma minus bar. So for sigma minus bar, we can write u bar, and s bar. Then antiparticle of sigma 0 is sigma 0 bar. So here we can write u bar, d bar, and s bar. Then for sigma minus, its antiparticle is sigma plus bar. So this will be u bar, s bar, s bar. Okay. So these are the quark contents of different baryons and their corresponding antiparticles. So here we can go to the mass of different baryons. So the mass of proton is 938.3 MeV per c square. Then mass of neutron is 939.6 MeV per c square. Then mass of lambda 0 is 1116 MeV per c square. Then mass of sigma plus is 1189 MeV per c square. Then sigma 0 is 1193 MeV per c square, and sigma minus is 1197 MeV per c square. Here also, in case of meson, we left the quark contents of some mesons. So here we can write. So here the quark content of K plus is US bar. Okay. Then other particles also having the quark contents. We will discuss these particles later on. So these are the different type of meson and baryon. Some examples we have taken into account, and we will also study about these particles in detail later. Okay. Then today we will discuss about quantum numbers, which are basically used in elementary particles. Okay, so now today we will discuss about quantum numbers which are used in elementary particle physics. Quantum numbers. Quantum numbers and their conservation. So today we will discuss this thing. So what are different quantum numbers which are mainly used in elementary particles? So some of the quantum numbers which we will discuss today are lepton number and its conservation, lepton number and its conservation, then baryon number and its conservation, baryon number and its conservation, then strangeness number and its conservation, then charm and bottomness number, charmness या charm quantum number and bottom quantum number, charm and bottom quantum number, bottom quantum number, and their conservation. And then we will discuss isospin and its conservation. So these are the different quantum numbers and their corresponding conservation we will discuss today, and these are basically used for elementary particles. Okay. So first lepton number and its conservation. So before going to lepton number, I want to tell you that what do we mean by conservation or conservation laws. Okay. So what do we mean by conservation laws? So when we say that something is conserved, some quantity is conserved, it means that that quantity remains constant during some physical process. Okay. So if a quantity remains constant during a physical process, then that quantity is said to be conserved. Okay. So I am writing this. If a quantity remains constant during a physical process, then that quantity is said to be conserved. Okay. So in physics we know that symmetry and conservation laws both are related to each other. Symmetry and conservations both are related to each other. Symmetry and conservation laws, symmetry and conservation laws both are related to each other. According to Noether's theorem, According to Noether's theorem, every symmetry yields a conservation laws. According to Noether's theorem, every symmetry yields a conservation laws. Okay. Or conversely, you can say that every conservation law reflects an underlying symmetry. Every conservation law reflects an underlying symmetry. Okay. So, for example, if a system is invariant under translations in space, okay, if a system is invariant in translations in space, then we can say that the linear momentum is conserved. If there is a symmetry in translations, that means if we move from one point to another point or another place, then a physical quantity which remains constant is the linear momentum. So, similarly, if a system is symmetrical under the rotations about a point, then we can say that angular momentum is conserved. Okay. So, here we can say that symmetry and conservation laws if there is a symmetry in translations in space, it leads to linear momentum as conserved. So, if there is a symmetry in rotation in space, rotations in space, then angular momentum is conserved. And if there is a symmetry in translations in time, then it leads to the conservation of energy. So, here energy is conserved. So, symmetry and conservation laws both are related to each other. Okay. So, now we will discuss some quantum numbers and their conservation, which are mainly used for elementary particles. So, first quantum number is lepton number. Okay. So, lepton number. So, by the name lepton number, we mean that it is only valid for lepton. Okay. We know from the elementary particle that there are 6 type of leptons, and also there are 6 type of antileptons. Okay. So first, lepton number. Its symbol is L. So lepton number is basically for leptons. Okay. We know that there are 6 type of leptons. So there are 6 type of leptons. So these are the 6 type of leptons: electron, electron neutrino, mu1, mu1 neutrino, tau, tau neutrino. Okay. So these are the 6 type of leptons, and their corresponding antiparticles, which are called as antileptons. So they also 6. So this is electron minus, minus, minus. So here it is plus positron, and it is electron antineutrino. So this is called as electron antineutrino. So then mu plus, and this is mu1 antineutrino, and then tau plus, and this is tau antineutrino. So there are also 6 antileptons. So for these 12 particles, lepton number is valid. For all other particles, it is 0. So for lepton number, so for different type of leptons, we will use different lepton numbers. That means for electron and neutrino particle, electron and its corresponding neutrino particle. So for electron and its neutrino particle, so its lepton number is 1. Okay. Then for mu1 and its neutrino particle, the lepton number is L mu, and it is also 1. And for tau and its neutrino particle, the lepton number is symbolized as L tau, that is also plus 1. Okay. So this is for leptons. And for antileptons, so this will be negative. So for similarly for positron and its electronic antineutrino, Le will be minus 1. Then mu plus and its antineutrino, that is mu1 antineutrino, L mu will be minus 1. Then tau plus and its antineutrino, L tau will be minus 1. So these are the lepton number. Okay. So for these particles, these are the lepton numbers. So we can say that for electron and neutrino particle, this is plus 1, and for mu1 and its neutrino particle, it is plus 1. So these are different symbols for different particles, and for their antiparticles, it will be minus 1. So what do we mean by lepton number conservation? Okay. So we can take one example and see this, whether lepton number is conserved in a particular reaction or in a particular decay or not. So we can take an example of beta decay. Okay. In beta decay, neutron is decaying to proton plus electron antineutrino. So this is beta minus decay. So here we can test the lepton number, whether it is conserved or not. Okay. So here we can see that for neutron it is not lepton, because neutron is baryon. We have already discussed this. Neutron is a baryon, so its lepton number is 0. Okay. Similarly, proton is a baryon, so its lepton number is 0. So here for electron we can write this as Le is equal to +1, and for electron neutrino Le is equal to -1. Okay. So on the right hand side it is +1 and it is -1, so it is 0, and on the left hand side also this is 0. So here we can see that lepton number is conserved in this process, in this decay. Okay. So here if we, because same type of particles are there, here is also for electron and neutrino, and its neutrino symbol is Le. Okay. Here both are the same type of particles. In some other cases also different type of muons are taking place in a decay process. For example, we can take this decay as, suppose mu plus going to positron plus nu E. Okay. So we can take this as example. So here let me see the decay process. So mu plus decaying to E plus then nu E bar, and nu E plus nu mu bar plus nu mu bar. Okay. So this is another example. Here we can test whether lepton number is conserved or not. So here there is mu plus, there is E plus, then nu E, nu mu bar. So here in this situation there is a mixed type of leptons. In the first example there is only one type of lepton. This is the electron and nu E. So same symbol Le is used. Okay. But in this case there is mu plus. So here mu plus is there, then E plus, here E plus. So mixed leptons are there. So in this situation we are using the lepton number conservation in two ways. First we will take L mu, then we will take Le. Okay. So first we will take L mu and test whether it is conserved or not. So L mu. So for mu plus, L mu is -1 and L mu is equal to 0 for this. So here L mu is 0 for positron, because this is L mu. L mu means it is only valid for mu1 or mu and its neutrino particle. So here for electronic neutrino it is also 0. Okay. But for mu1 antineutrino it is -1. Okay. So L mu on the left hand side it is -1 and on the right hand side it is -1. So here we can say that L mu is conserved. Okay. Then we can test for Le. Then Le. So for mu plus Le is 0. Then come to the right hand side for positron. For positron Le is -1. We know that for positron Le is -1. Then for electron neutrino, what is Le? For electron neutrino Le is +1. So here Le is +1, and for mu1 antineutrino Le is 0. Okay. So here we can say that in the left hand side Le is 0 and in the right hand side Le is -1 is +1, it is 0. So we can say that in the both this process lepton number is conserved. So what do you mean by conservation of lepton numbers? Just like energy conservation, we can say that lepton number can neither be created nor be destroyed. It is only formed in pair. When there is a lepton, there should be one antilepton. Okay. So suppose in the first process, so this is lepton. So there is a antilepton. So it is always formed in pairs. So if there is a lepton, there should be antilepton, so that lepton number is conserved. So in the second process we can see that, so this is mu plus, so there is another antiparticle nu mu bar. So here there is a positron, so its antiparticle is here. So leptons always produced in pairs. If there is a particle, there should be antiparticle. If there is an antiparticle, there should be particle. So this is the lepton number conservation. So here we can take another example. This is mu minus going to electron, then nu e bar plus nu mu. Okay. So in this process also we can test the conservation. First we take L mu. Here L mu is equal to +1. For mu1 it is +1. For electron L mu is 0. So for electron it is 0. For electron antineutrino it is also 0. But for mu1 neutrino it is +1. So here we can say that L mu is +1 on the left hand side and it is +1 on the right hand side. And then we test for Le. Le is equal to 0 for mu minus. Then Le is +1 for electron and -1 for electron antineutrino, and this is 0 for mu1 neutrino. So here we can say that lepton number is conserved in this process. So in each process we see that if there is a lepton, there is a antilepton. So both are produced in pairs. So that lepton number remains constant or it is conserved. So we can discuss about baryon number and its conservation in the next class. Okay. So thank you for your attention.